Okay, so I finally read it. I've read this book. I actually finished reading it like a month ago, and I've been meaning to make a video about it, but unfortunately, I have just been like really busy. Like I'm taking a couple of AP classes. You know, it's the end of the year, so I'm just really busy. I've gotten sick. You know. Also, by the way, my brother, he is playing video games and he's very loud, but if he says something racist, that does not reflect on me, okay? That is not me. But anyway, so I read it. I read her. She's beautiful and lovely, and I really enjoyed it. My good lord, I'm sorry, everything is distracting, but I needed to make this video. Like I need y'all to know that like that I want y'all to know my thoughts. So I've loved Hunger Games for a very long time. My uncle actually he put me onto this series when I was like 11 years old, and I've just like been obsessed with it ever since, you know, which is I think a canon event for a lot of bookish 11-year-olds. Like you're reading Percy Jackson or Hunger Games or Harry Potter, something of the sort. Maybe Neil Gaiman novels, which I also read, which is really unfortunate. Like, of course, my two favorite childhood authors happen to turn out to be like one of the most evil people in literature, but that's okay. In modern literature, I want to clarify, but anyway. So I've loved Hunger Games for a very long time. So when Sunrise and the Reaping came out, I pre-ordered that junk. Like I worked my booty off in with babysitting jobs in order to afford this silly little hardcover, which was all that was available, by the way. But anyway, so amazing. Like 5 out of 5 stars. Like I don't care about all the cameos, you know. Like I don't care about all of, like, I don't know, people were complaining about it, and it's like, okay, well, okay, spoilers, like, if Mags and, it makes sense for, like, Mags and Wirus to be mentors, because, like, there were only, like, at the time of those games, there were only, like, 49 victors. That is such a small pool. Like, that is the smallest pool of people possible. Sorry, my mom texted me. I love her, but she can wait. Sorry. Oh, by the way, I dyed my hair. I dyed my hair. It's not really, like, it's not, you can't really see it. But yeah, I dyed my hair. I really love her. Well, anyway, yeah, that is literally such a small pool of people. Like, it's probable statistically. Sorry. So yeah, when I saw Max and Wirus, I was like hooting and hollering. I was so happy, because like the only time we ever really like were introduced to them was when Wirus was insane and Mags was basically a mute. So it was really wonderful to get to know them as actual people, and I love Wirus. Wirus and Beatty, if you can hear me, please, like, I love them so much. Oh my god, tears are actually coming out of my eyes just talking about them. Okay, anyway, so let's talk about this. Let's talk about this book. Oh, yeah, and I am drinking sweet tea, because I'm a silly I'm a silly little southerner, and I love sweet tea. But anyway, so, okay, so we start off. Okay, Haymitch, he's wearing his Juicy Couture, Courtesy the Capitol shorts. You'll know what I mean if you've read it. And automatically, we just meet, like, his family. Sid, 10-year-old brother, his ma, his love, Lenore Dove, which... I love the Covey a lot. Like, it makes so much sense for the Capitol to have, like, this sort of entertainment group of people who aren't tied by the limits of the Capitol, or the, I don't know, the standards that are set to the districts by the Capitol, if that makes sense. Like, I never really thought about it when I was reading the original series, which makes sense because I was like 11 and 12, but like, how stifled the people of the districts are creatively. Like, it makes a lot of sense for, like, okay, like, it was revealed later in this book that reading is not a popular pastime of the Capitol, and it's like, okay, so what else is it? Like, is there art? Is there, I mean, obviously there's art. I mean, God, look at the people at the Capitol. They're insane. But, like, are there writers? Are there, like, in the districts, are there writers? Are there artists? Are there musical people, besides the Covey? And if so, I mean, is it all banned? Because, like, I know music is banned in District 12, but is all sorts of creative expression stifled, or just outright banned if it's not benefiting the Capitol directly? Which, like, I headcanon that it is. Because, I mean, that makes sense. A thinking population is a rebelling population. You need to keep these people hungry, hungry and reliant on you. Not to mention the whole hungry is bit, you know, kind of keeps the districts in their place, for as long as it has, which, like, I'm just thinking about it, just how terrifying it is, you know, that the wealthiest and most capable people, the Capitol people, do not engage in anything like that. Like, I don't think they listen to music besides patriotic ones, or read books or just engage in any sort of artistic ability other than just making themselves look more and more appealing to what is trending at the time. Which, I don't know, I just think that's a little interesting thing. I think that's something. Is that something? I think it is. But, anyway, so yeah, we get a little introduction to Haymitch's life and the scene of District 12, which is, of course, just about parallel with Katniss's life. Really young, older sibling that luckily is not old enough for the reaping. I mean, except for Prim, but you know what I mean. Like, it's parallel. It's not perfectly the same. Oh my god, I'm such an idiot. That's what parallel means. It's perfectly the same. Well, y'all know what I mean. It's similar. It is incredibly similar. Which, I guess, if you're living in the scene, you don't really have a choice. But look at my cat. But anyway, so we meet this life. We are introduced to this life that Haymitch has, where, you know, of course, he's poor, he's living in the seam, he illegally distills liquor. Well, he helps a woman illegally distill liquor. He Yeah, he does stuff like that. He trades at the Hob, etc., etc. Again, very similar to Katniss's life. He sneaks out to the woods to meet Lenore Dove, and she's just like, their dynamic is very similar to Katniss's and Gale's, without the outright romance. Like, Lenore Dove is very, very outspoken about her hatred of the Capitol, and Haymitch is like, shut the fuck up, girl, shut the fuck up, because they're listening. Come on. You know, kind of like how Katniss and Gale were, which I think was really lovely, because, I mean, at least Lenore Dove wasn't an outright war criminal. That's a plus. You PMO. Sorry, she's like playing with my glasses cleaning cloth. Like, girl, I have spent like over $50 on toys for her, and she chooses like hair ties, sewing needles, embroidery thread, like, anyway, so I'm playing with her right now. That's what I'm doing. Anyway. And oh my god, like, Haymitch's reaping was utterly, like, madness, was just utter madness. Like, okay, so it's the quarter quell, right? It's the 50th games. Little twist, double the tributes. Oh my god, that's crazy. It's wild, guys. She's so crazy. Love her. Anyway, hold on. Okay. Haymitch's games were, I'm sorry, I don't know why I said games. His reaping, madness, utter madness. As I said before, double the tributes. So one of the tributes that Drusilla, the new escort before Effie, who is nothing like Effie, by the way, like, this woman, she's like, I think she's been the escort for like at least 30 years, perhaps longer. Because she is an old woman technically, but I wouldn't cap her at like 70. I would say she's more like in her 60s or her 50s, which would probably be considered to be absolutely hideous in the Capitol, but that's like, don't people say that? No, that's not middle-aged. 40 is like middle-aged. But if she is in her 50s, that would kind of be like middle-aged. I don't know. Either way, she's like not really that old. Well, I don't know. Either way, she's like in her 50s or her 60s. And this woman, not dressing her age, she's like wearing RuPaul Drag Race height, thigh length boots, like a military jacket, wearing like 50s, you know, adorned in her thing, because like that's the thing this year, it's 50 years. Whoa, wowza. I can't stop doing the Ethan Slater smirk. I think it's so funny. I'm sorry. Okay, I need to stop. Y'all are oh my god, I know people are like clicking off on this right now. okay, I'm sorry. So Drusilla, fashion disaster. Quit it. Just chewing on my plant. Anyway. And total bitch, by the way. So anyway, she calls on this guy, and turns out he's from a family that's like very like rebellious, you know, kind of like how Haymitch's family was rebellious, but they aren't anymore. But the Abernathys kind of just have that reputation, like, oh, they're rebellion family, you know, don't trust that boy, you know. But like, I think it was like Woodbine. I think that was the kid's first name. I don't remember the last name, because they don't call him by his last name. They call him Woodbine, right? So Woodbine's from this rebellion family who's like brothers and fathers and uncles like just constantly go to jail, right? So Woodbine gets reaped, and he's like he's making his way up to the steps of the Justice Building, but then he just fucking books it. Like, this dude is just running out there, right? Drusella's freaking the fuck out. She's like, shoot that motherfucker! Get his ass, you know? And, like, that happens, but they shoot him right in the, like, middle of the crowd. Like, I don't even, like, Drusella was, like, screaming because, like, she was like, you idiot, bro! Like, why'd you hit him in the alley? Right? Because all of a sudden, like, his mom, like, of course, she's running towards her kid whose head exploded. She's screaming and crying. The peacekeepers are, like, gonna get her ass because district people aren't allowed to have emotions, of course, right? They're animals. They don't have that. You kidding me? Anyway, so, like, all this commotion is starting because a kid just got fucking shot, and yeah, so people start rioting, right? And the peacekeepers, like, they're like getting Woodbine's mom because she's grieving her son, right? And so Lenore Dove, like, runs to Woodbine's mom, like, to guard her from the peacekeepers, and she's like, bro, leave her alone, right? And so the peacekeepers, they get their gun, right? They're gonna knock Lenore Dove out, and Hamish just, like, runs right in the middle of it, and he's like, yo, leave my girl alone, right? But the peacekeepers, like, they hit him instead, right? And so then they drag his ass up to the Justice Building. They're like, hey, there's your new dude right there. And Drusella's like, yeah, awesome. So, and Plutarch Heavensby is there. He's there too, because, you know, he was a games maker, and before that he, like, just worked the cameras, I guess, for District 12, right? So, I mean, Woodbine can't fight, so now they got Hamish. So she's like, hey, Hamish, right? Like, your name, like, what's your name? Hamish. Okay, cool. So they just, like, rip a piece of paper off, write his name down, and they pretend to reap him. And Plutarch is like, okay, Hamish's mom and Hamish's brother and Hamish's girlfriend, I need you guys to, like, act surprised. And they're like, what the fuck just happened, right? Because that's fucking crazy. Like, all this is happening, right? I mean, obviously they're not gonna, like, suddenly act for the cameras. But, you know, basically all of the footage was doctored for during the reaping, which is a really big theme in the book, and I think that's, like, really cool of the government editing things to work in their favor. Editing the news, editing the reality, etc. Which, like, I never really thought about that before. Like, I haven't really reread the Hunger Games series in a while with this new lens, because sorry, I don't know what my brother is doing. Anyway, which, I mean, makes sense that I did take a lot of it at face value, because, again, I read the original series when I was, like, 11, and then I was 14 when I read Songbirds and Snakes, and now that I'm 17, almost 18 now, I've become more aware, is what I'm gonna say. I've become more aware. I've read better books regarding topics like this, so it's a lot easier to spy things like that now. Which, honestly, I really need to reread the series, because, I mean, how fascinating is that, really? Depressing, don't get me wrong. Really depressing. But just how many of the Hunger Games have been edited in the past. to push this agenda, right? I mean, obviously, the Hunger Games originally was the agenda, but I feel like, don't you think that there maybe is a theme in every Hunger Games? Like using all of these victors as examples, like, hey, if you do something like this, Victor, you're fucking dead, man, right? So, I just think that's really fascinating. So let's talk about the other people that were raped for a second. First, we got fucking what's his name, Wyatt. Yeah, Wyatt. Which is so funny. Like, we got Haymitch, we got Luella, we got Maisily, we got Drusilla, we got Plutarch, we got Mags, we got Ryrus, and we got fucking Wyatt. I don't know, that's just interesting. But Wyatt's kind of like, Haymitch, like, he grew up in the scene, and he was just this close to aging out of the games. Like, bro is old enough to be working in the mines, but he still has to get reaped. So that's just, like, so depressing. Luella, she is basically Haymitch's little sister, right? She's, like, 13 years old, and she also grew up in the same, Haymitch calls her sweetheart. Because when they were little, she was like, hey, Mitch, you're gonna be my sweetheart. Oh. And Maisily is like this girl from uptown, right? Kind of like PETA, right? She's never really known hunger. Like, she's always been this really spoiled girl who, like, collects so much jewelry. And none of the scene kids really fuck with her because, like, okay, you're just a spoiled, prissy little rich girl. Like, we don't fuck with you. Right? But, I'm not pulling on her tail. I don't know how to say this without it sounding, like, gross, but I'm stroking it, okay? I am, yes, okay? I just want y'all to know, I am not abusing her. If my cat did not like it, she would walk away, because that's how cats are. And she's also just very talkative, so, anyway. So the raping officially ends, but a lot of people aren't allowed to say goodbye to their families, because, according to Drusilla, they don't have that anymore. But Plutarch just, like, drags out, Maisily and Haymitch, I think, because he needs that for the cameras, like, he needs the goodbye for the cameras, right? And, oh yeah, he also, like, I think he drags out everyone except for Wyatt, like, anyway, and so, while Haymitch is saying officially goodbye to his family, there's a very important phrase that is said, that's repeated throughout the book. And that is a quote from his father, who passed away in a mining accident, which I should have mentioned beforehand, but I forgot, said to this previous girl that was raped in a Hunger Games a couple years beforehand. And he said, like, don't let the Capitol paint your poster with your blood. Something of the sort. And that's just kind of been repeated over the book, like, I will not let the Capitol paint my poster. I will paint my own poster, right? I just looked at the cover of the book and I realized that I forgot a very important detail, and that was literally at the beginning, which I knew I should have mentioned, but I forgot. So the reaping is on Haymitch's birthday, right? So as a birthday gift, Lenore Dove gave him this golden flint striker, which was made by Clerk Carmine. And it's this, right? It's a songbird and it's a snake, you know, and Haymitch has it on the little string, you know. It's very nice. It has like Lenore Dove's name engraved in it, like I love you like all fire, which is a little Covey saying, LD, right? Sorry, my stupid boyfriend just texted me. Whatever. So anyway, we have our little goodbye scene, and it's really unfortunate because, like, Luella's family, they're not playing with Plutarch, right? And Plutarch's just like, right, and just sends Luella to the train. Maisily does get her goodbye because, I mean, they did react for the cameras, and same with Haymitch's family. Which Haymitch was not happy with because he was like, I don't want you to give these people satisfaction. And his mom was like, bro, I don't give a fuck. I want to see you before you go to your death, right? So anyway, they're on the train, right? And bro, Maisily, dude, she is clocking Drusilla. It is so funny. Like, clocking her for her age, like, saying, oh, maybe if you're that old, you shouldn't be wearing high heel boots like that, right? Which I was like, I was giggling like the entire time, right? And so Drusilla just, like, fucking loses it, and she just smacks Maisily, and Maisily smacks her back, right? And all of a sudden, Drusilla brings out a riding crop, whatever it's called, from her boot, and just starts beating Maisily. Gets a bunch of welts, like, all over her, and Plutarch finally gets her to stop because he's like, hey, dude, like, I need her to look good for the camera. What is wrong with you? And Drusilla's like, fine, you district animals are not worth my time. Whatever, right? And even Haymitch gets his own little, moment of justice because they bring out a fucking cake. They bring out a cake and start singing happy birthday to him. And Haymitch is just like, he just gets up and walks away. Because, like, I mean, that's fair. With these snobby people, you have to out-snob them, right? Like, to be violent is to prove which... to be violent is to prove what they already previously think about you. So in order to stand up for the capital people in the subtle way that you can at that time, it's to be petty. It's to say, like, that's not good enough for me, right? Just act like a Hollywood asshole. Because, I mean, you're the celebrity, right? Yeah. And I think that's, like, I just think that's really funny. Like, that's really funny. It's really good. It's a really good detail. I need to cap this, like, at least an hour, 50 minutes. Because I want to give myself 45, but I already know I'm not going to make that. But anyway, so we make it to the Capitol, and they just put these people in a gym. They put these tributes in a gym, of the like Capitol High School, right? And we're already meeting, like, some of the tributes, you know. I'm sure you can imagine what the careers are already like. In the District 3, oh my god. It's so sad. It's really so sad. There's this one boy from District 3 that we meet. His name is Ambert. He's Beatty's son. And he was put into the games to punish Beatty because Beatty was messing with their communication wires. And Beatty knows that his son is going to die. So all he can say to Haymitch is just, don't let my son die in a horrific way, right? It's so sad. It's so sad. Which that doesn't happen until later, but I just wanted to go ahead and branch on that now before I forget. So we already see, like, what the people were talking about in the first, like, original Hunger Games book, when they were like, hey, you guys are not going to dress like coal miners anymore. We're going to make you cool this year. Because, like, oh my god, their chariot costumes, horrific. It was literally, like, overalls, and, you know, those caps with the light on them. And the guy who did it, like, Drusilla, like, technically they're married for tax reasons, the guy whose name I forgot, and Drusilla. And he was like, I'm gonna do something hot and fresh this year. And Drusilla was like, okay, where is it? And he's like, I changed the batteries. Right? It's just, wow. Wow. Like, no one really give a fuck about District 12, huh? So, chariot race happens, right? People ignore 12 altogether. Until, like, in this whole thing, like, it is so disorganized. Like, I don't think the Hunger Games were a fully functioning, fully organized, event until, like, at least the 60th games. Because, I mean, with Katniss's games, like, everything went smooth as far as, like, the production and everything, you know? So it just feels like, how long have these people really kept it together, right? Or have they ever really kept it together? Maybe this was just a rare game where everything went smooth in Katniss's perspective. Which is interesting. Because at the chariot race, there is a horrible accident, and unfortunately, Luella passes away from that accident. And of course, Haymitch is, oh my god, Haymitch is just, he is heartbroken. And he literally drags Luella's body, well, he carries it, he doesn't drag her, but he carries Luella's body to the stairs of President Snow's mansion and just basically puts her body on the step of the house to show President Snow, like, this is what you did. This was your doing. I don't even know. And it's just so powerful. Really, it's really powerful. It's really good. Of course, President Snow didn't take a liking to that, and he especially did not take a liking to the chariot parade going horribly. So everything is just buns, right? And Wyatt, Nasally, and Haymitch are just they're just absolutely depressed because, oh my god, right? And they go to the apartment building that's being rented out. You meet Magus and Wyrus. I'm over here like, wow, right? Because I love them. And it's a very nice greeting. There are cameras, like, all over the apartment, like, in the bathroom, all over the apartment, which is interesting. Well, not interesting, I'm sure we can expect it, but they are, like, very visible, like, you can see these cameras, and it's fascinating, really, because I'm sure that there were hidden cameras in Katniss's games, because, I mean, because in their apartment, Haymitch's apartment, they would just, like, put towels or whatever to cover the cameras when they are having private moments, like taking a shower, right? Excuse me. Anyway, so that happens, right? And Plutarch invites Haymitch to the mansion. So training does not go very smoothly with the whole tribute interaction. We do meet Beatty, right? Yeah, we do meet Beatty. And he's running a stand on how to make a potato. He shows Haymitch how to like make a battery out of potato, and Haymitch is like, how am I going to be able to use this in the arena? And Beatty's like, okay, well, you can use this for me. Like, basically, there is a plan, right, to basically break the arena. They're going to like basically build a bomb, try and infiltrate the inside of the arena, explode it, cause like a big water breakage, flood the arena, destroy all of the technology in it, etc. And Haymitch, from what I remember, Haymitch is like mostly for this, right? He's like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to pull this off. And Beatty's like, I don't know if you are either, but let's try. So he does teach, and he hands Haymitch a little bag filled with, magnets, wires, etc. What was needed to create the battery of the potato. And apparently Ampert is like in on this, and he's going to help. Like, he has his own little thing, right? And Maisley's doing great, right? As best as she can. Like all these district kids, they have their own tokens, and Maisley is basically retying them. Like, she has her own little jewelry, right? So she's really into making jewelry. So she's basically making friendship bracelets for everyone. Because Ampert created a plan, right, where he's like, okay, we're going to get as many districts to ally as possible against the careers. And basically, they have like just about all of the districts who aren't careers in on this, and they call each other the newcomers. And I just think it's so sweet. It's really so sweet, because like, my God, these are children. They're children. They're all children. It's just so sad. This whole series is sad. This book especially was sad. But all of it is just so depressing. So for the rest of their time in the capital, everything for the most part is peaceful. Until Plutarch invites Haymitch into the Heavensby mansion. And while Haymitch is there, President Snow is there, and he's like, brother is sick. He is like throwing up blood. Like, he is just, oh my God, right? And so while Haymitch and President Snow were alone in the room, President Snow like took out Haymitch's flint striker, because of course, like, they took your original clothes, right? And they also took your tokens for inspection. And he's like, oh, this is an interesting little thing. I love you like Allfire, LD. It's interesting. Was it Lenore Daffodil? Lenore Dandelion? And Haymitch is like, oh, it's Lenore Dove. He's like, oh, Lenore Dove. That's an interesting color. See with those cubby girls, son. They'll leave you. They ain't loyal to no one. Like, bro was basically just like venting about Lucy Gray to Haymitch, and it's like, brother, you're in your 50s. Like, if I'm if I'm over a relationship from like 8th grade, you can get over your failed situationship from over 40 years ago, right? It was, I mean, it was, dear God, it was terrifying to read, right? But at the same time, I'm just chuckling to myself because it's like, are you serious? You're seriously beefing with Haymitch because he is in love with a girl who's maybe related to Lucy Gray? My God. But, and then it gets like super fucked up because he's like, oh yeah, by the way, your little friend got better. And Haymitch is like, okay, what are you talking about? Luella's dead. Luella is in the ground. And he's like, no, she's not. Come on out, Luella. And this girl who, like, and then basically a Luella clone comes out, right? Like, not a mutt per se, just a child or maybe a rebel who was just caught in a very unfortunate situation because she looked like Luella. And she has this, like, thing in her ear, and I don't know, we don't really know what it is, but a part of me thinks that is, like, something that a game maker has hooked up to her, and he's whispering instructions with her, and will send shockwaves if she does something that is, like, that is not okay. And this girl, like, she is brainwashed to all hell. Like, she has no idea who she is. All she can say is, like, hi, I'm Luella. I'm from District 12, you know? And Haymitch is like, that's not Luella. And President Snow is, you're gonna pretend that's Luella, or your father, or your mother and your brother are dead. And Haymitch is like, okay, that's Luella, right? And then later, Plutarch comes back. Snow is gone. Plutarch comes back, and he's like, hey, I got someone on the phone for you, Haymitch. And Haymitch is like, oh my God, I'm fucking dead, right? And so he goes to this payphone. He calls. Turns out it's Lenore Dove on the phone from the District 12 jail because I don't even know what she did, but she's contained, right? And she's like, oh my God, dude, I never thought I would hear from you again. And Haymitch is like, shit, me neither, right? And so they're talking, you know, they're like, I love you, blah, 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 blah. I know that the way I'm saying it is very, like, makes it sound like it was nothing. It was everything. Really, it was everything. But you need to read it. So that happens. And okay, and then interviews are happening, right? Interviews are happening, right? And then their fucking dressmaker, whatever it's technically called, costume designer, he's in the hospital because he's some reptile crazed freak and he licked a frog, and now he's at the doctor. Now he's not able to, like, costume them, and everyone's like, okay, what are we going to do, right? We can't just, like, pull up in our training uniforms. That is so wildly inappropriate. And one of the and, like, their two little I don't know what it's called, but it's like assistant costume designers or assistant escorts. I don't know. There's just these two college kids who are like, hey, we gotta do this for an assignment. We're helping you two for an assignment, right? Kind of like in the Songbirds and Snakes, right? And so one of the girls, she's freaking the fuck out. She calls her older sister, who, guess who it is? Effie! And she just saves the day, right? She has all these nice clothes, right? She's got little tuxedos. She's got dresses, right? Really, really nice stuff. Honestly, let me... Hunger Games, Sunrise on the Reaping, let me be a costume designer, please. please, if you can hear me, Suzanne Collins, let me be a costume designer of your let me be a costume designer of your new movie, please. Because, like, I have some ideas. But anyway, so, and that was really cool. I am not capping this at 50 minutes. We're gonna have to go to an hour. Sorry. And so they're, like, figuring out their characters, right, that they're gonna play, right? And Wyatt is, like, this master probability, like, bro, let this motherfucker do my trig work or something, because, like, this dude is really good at what he does, because he's, like, related to these, like, gamblers, right? Luella, she's just gonna be, like, shy and meek, whatever, and Maisie is just gonna be herself, I think, and they were just like, okay, and Haymitch, you're gonna be a bad boy, not a rebel, you're gonna be a bad boy. And Haymitch is like, what the hell, what the helly, right? Like, he just didn't really know what to do, but they were like, we're just gonna be talking about the newcomers, right? And so that's mostly what the interviews were. Like, the careers are just being, like, meatheads, and the rest of the districts were talking about the newcomers and, like, how great this is going to be, right? And then Haymitch comes on, people, like, love him because, like, oh my god, oh my god, you're so rebellious. You illegally make liquor in the forest? Wow. Right? Like, he's flirting with an older woman, like, a woman who's probably, like, 40 years older than him in the audience. Crazy stuff. Typical, really. Like, I don't... Genuinely, if he did not become an alcoholic in the games, because of that behavior, I feel like he would have turned out like Finnick. Maybe. But anyway. So, all this is happening, right? All this is happening. And it went relatively smooth. So, now we're at the games. Dude, I have never been in such a, like, massive roller coaster ride in my entire life reading the games portion. It was insane. There was, like, a little mountain area, there was a little forest area. Haymitch ran to the forest area, everyone was running to the mountain area. He got a little backpack. In this area, this arena, it is, like, beautiful, right? But everything's poisonous. And that killed a lot of kids the first night. And unfortunately, Wyatt also died the first night because he was trying to protect fake Luella, who they call they called Lulu instead. Because, like, they're calling it Luella, right? I should not have, like, now that I'm thinking about it, I should not have, like, given y'all a summary. I feel like if you wanted to watch a video about Sunrise on the Reaping, you would have probably already read the book. I don't know. But arena, I'm getting tired, so I'm going to wrap this up. So the arena was absolutely deplorable. It always is, right? The deaths, a lot of the deaths were really depressing. Like, Amber, I don't even want to talk about it. I do not actually even want to talk about it. It was, oh my god. Oh my god. Maisie Lee was also horrible. There was a lot of mutts being used in this game, and a lot of them particularly targeted Haymitch, but not in the way that you would think. The deaths were so much more brutal. Like, Welly, she was a District 9 girl. She was, like, I think she was 12, like 13, very, very young, way too young. And a district one of the careers, chopped off her head because she attacked her. I mean, technically she did, but it was defending, right? Like, literally was holding wellies in her hand and axe in the other, and when Haymitch was like, what the hell did you do? The District 1 girl was like, she attacked me. And so Haymitch just went fucking berserk, right? It was, oh my god, it was just insane. It's really depressing too. Especially, like, the epilogue. I think the epilogue was actually my favorite part, because it shows life from Haymitch's perspective after the revolution, the second revolution, you know, of the games. Well, his life, like, just his life after the games leading up to after the revolution in just a couple of pages. It was really interesting, because we got to meet Katniss, and the reason why, like, I'm pretty sure y'all have already seen posts about it, people just talking about, like, how he calls her sweetheart because she looked just like Luella. God, it's so over. God. Like, how his alcoholism got better, and, like, you know, Lenore Dove really liked geese, and Katniss, like, gave him some goose eggs, and now he just owns a bunch of geese. Guys, this book was so good. Like, this woman, she never misses. Like, like, she has genuinely never missed. The only time she has missed, and even then it was barely even her fault, was the Songbirds and Snakes movie. Like, guys, this was so good. But yeah. God, this was just so much. Sunrise on the Reaping, amazing. Thank you so much for watching. It's, like, really late for me, and I need to be going to bed. Not for any particular reason, I'm just tired. So, again, thank you for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day, night, etc. My next video will hopefully be about the Secret History, because I've been meaning to make a video about that for, like, a year now, but there's just so much to dive into it. So I'm kind of scared to approach it, but I will try to get to that. Probably will do a reading wrap-up first, because I don't know, but that's probably gonna happen when school ends in, like, a month. So, but anyway, again, thank you for watching. Have a great day. Thank you.